Hello and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Emily. Today, we're going to talk about something really practical. How you can learn English not just in a classroom or with a textbook, but in your daily life. Especially in the kitchen, while you cook, clean, and live.
That's right. A lot of people think they need to sit down for a proper study session to improve their English. But the truth is, your home, your everyday environment, is full of opportunities to practice. You just have to notice them.
And the kitchen is one of the best places to start. Think about it, you use the kitchen every day. You follow recipes, you prepare meals, you clean dishes. Every one of those steps can become an English learning moment.
Exactly. For example, when you're cooking dinner, try reading the recipe in English. Even if it's just a simple one, like how to make an omelette or boil pasta, it gives you new vocabulary and instructions in context.
And don't worry if you don't understand every word. The great thing about cooking is that you can see what's happening. So if a recipe says, chop the onions, and you're doing it while reading it, your brain makes a strong connection between the word and the action.
That kind of real-life learning sticks. It's different from just memorizing a word list. You're not just learning the word, stir, you're stirring as you say it. That's powerful.
And if you want to go further, try speaking aloud while you cook. Narrate your actions. Say things like, now I'm washing the tomatoes, or I need to boil the water. It might feel silly at first, but it's excellent practice.
You're practicing verb tenses, pronunciation, and vocabulary, all while making lunch. And no one's judging you. You're in your own kitchen, talking to yourself in English, and learning more than you realize.
It also builds confidence. When you speak aloud in a low-pressure environment like your kitchen, you start to feel more comfortable using English in public too. It becomes less scary.
And beyond cooking, there's cleaning. Think about all the actions: sweeping, wiping, drying, folding, putting things away. You can label objects, say what you're doing, or even play a short English podcast or video in the background.
Exactly. Turn English into a soundtrack for your life. You don't need full focus all the time, just let the language live with you. Let it echo in the background while you move through your routine.
We'll talk more about how to use your home as your language learning classroom, but first, let's take a deeper look at what kinds of vocabulary and expressions you can pick up just by making breakfast.
So let's say you're making breakfast. That moment can be filled with language learning. You're cracking eggs, toasting bread, pouring milk, slicing fruit. Each of those actions has a verb, a texture, even a sound in English. Just by naming what you're doing, you're building your vocabulary.
And if you want to take it further, you can describe more than just the action. Describe the smell, the color, the taste. For example, the toast is golden brown, or the eggs smell delicious. You're practicing adjectives, not just verbs.
Yes. And you're connecting those words to real experiences. That kind of emotional or sensory link helps you remember the language more deeply. It's more alive that way. You're not just learning the word crispy, you're tasting crispy.
That's why we often say, English doesn't just belong in your head, it belongs in your hands, your eyes, your day. Language lives with you. Especially when you use it to describe your actual life, moment by moment.
You can even start using full sentences. For example, I usually drink tea in the morning, or I don't have any more butter. These are natural phrases you'll use again and again in real conversations.
And if you live with someone, or you're making food for your family, you can start using English in small ways with them too. Like saying, dinner is ready, or can you pass me the salt? You're practicing polite, useful expressions.
That's a great point. Practicing English doesn't always mean studying English. It means using it. Reaching for it. Making it part of your rhythm. And if you live alone, even better, talk to yourself. Seriously. Say what you're doing out loud.
People underestimate how effective self-talk is. When you say something like, "I'm washing the dishes now," your brain is practicing sentence construction, subject-verb agreement, and pronunciation, without needing a grammar book.
It's all there. And honestly, some of the best practice happens when no one's watching. That's when you're free to be slow, to make mistakes, to repeat a word 3 times if you want to. That quiet repetition builds confidence.
You can also take it up a notch by changing your phone or smart speaker to English. That way, even when you're setting a timer or asking for the weather while you cook, you're interacting with English naturally.
Or try watching short cooking videos in English. Not long ones, just 2 to 5 minutes. Watch and listen to how native speakers describe what they are doing. You'll pick up common expressions like "let it simmer" or "don't forget to preheat the oven."
And if you repeat what you hear, you're not just learning vocabulary, you're also getting used to English intonation and rhythm. The way native speakers sound when they speak.
That rhythm is part of fluency. So when you stir the soup and say, "Now I'm going to add a little salt," try to copy the melody, the natural stress of the sentence. It'll help you sound more confident and natural.
And all of this is happening while you're just living your life. No extra time needed. No extra pressure. You're just letting English be present as you move through your day.
The kitchen, the bathroom, your laundry time, all of these everyday moments can be language moments. You don't need a classroom. You just need a mindset shift.
Let's talk about cleaning. It's not usually a fun task, but it can actually be a fantastic time to focus on language. You don't need your hands for notes or books, so your mind is free to listen, repeat, or even speak aloud.
Exactly. You can say things like, "I'm sweeping the floor," or "I need to take out the rubbish." You can describe objects too, "This sponge is wet," or "The sink is full." It's simple, but that's the English you'll really use in life.
And when you repeat those same phrases daily, they stick. You start saying them more naturally. Over time, they become part of your automatic thinking in English, not your native language.
And if you're tired, or just don't feel like talking, you can still listen. Play a podcast, an audiobook, or even English music. Let the sounds of English be part of your environment, like background noise that slowly teaches you.
Even if you catch just one new word while you're folding clothes or washing up, that's still progress. Language isn't always learned in big chunks. Sometimes, it's a single word at a time, in the middle of your real life.
And don't forget about labels. One fun idea is to label things around your kitchen or home in English. Write fridge, cupboard, sink, microwave and stick them on. It may seem basic, but it works. You see the word every day, and it becomes part of your memory.
I love that. Because then every time you open the fridge or use the kettle, your brain connects the thing with the English word naturally. You're not memorizing, you're living the language.
You could even go one step further and write short notes or reminders to yourself in English. Something like, "Don't forget the milk," or "dinner at 6. Put them on your fridge or counter. You'll be surprised how quickly those sentences become part of you.
And it's all in your control. You don't need an expensive course or hours of free time. You just need a kitchen, a bit of awareness, and the willingness to speak, read, or listen, right where you are.
You can make English part of your home. Not something outside of your life that you chase when you have time, but something woven into your everyday routines, in a gentle, supportive way.
And it's not just vocabulary you're picking up. You're building speaking rhythm, improving your listening, and even developing emotional comfort with the language. Because you're using English in a safe space, your own home.
And that comfort matters. Learning a language isn't just about understanding, it's about feeling confident using it. And when you cook, clean, or talk to yourself in English, you start to feel that comfort grow.
Another thing people often overlook is how emotional language shows up in daily life. For example, when you spill something in the kitchen, what do you say? Oh no, or oops. Those are real English expressions, and they show emotion.
Yes. And those small, reactive phrases, like that's hot, careful, or this smells amazing, they might seem simple, but they're powerful. They help you sound more natural, and they're the kinds of things native speakers use constantly.
Also, using English when you talk to pets, children, or even plants while you're doing housework can be a fun practice method. Do you want food? Or, you look happy today. You're not worried about mistakes, so it's good low-pressure speaking time.
Right, and speaking of low pressure, some of the most productive English learning happens when you don't feel like you're studying. When your hands are busy and your mind is relaxed, your brain is actually in a great state to absorb language.
That's why cooking is so useful. There's a rhythm to it. You're chopping, stirring, waiting, and thinking, and that space gives your brain the chance to hear and use English in a more mindful, slow-paced way.
You could even take one recipe and describe every step out loud in English. For example, first, I wash the vegetables. Then I cut the carrots. Now I add oil to the pan. It's a great speaking exercise.
And if you want to challenge yourself, do it in the past tense after you finish. I chopped the garlic. I added salt. I boiled the rice. That way, you're practicing tenses without needing a textbook.
You can also record yourself. Some learners find it helpful to talk through a recipe, or their day while they cook, and then play it back. You get to hear how you sound and spot where you want to improve, without judgment.
Yeah, and remember, this isn't about sounding perfect. It's about making English part of the life you already live. Your kitchen can be your classroom, your podcast studio, and your stage, all at once.
And you don't need a long session. Even 5 minutes of mindful English while you cook can have a big impact if you do it every day. It's the habit, not the length, that builds fluency over time.
Exactly. Think of it like seasoning your language skills, little by little. You don't need to pour it all on at once. Just sprinkle English throughout your daily routine, just like salt in your favorite recipe.
So wherever you are, washing dishes, making tea, prepping lunch, remember, that space you're in can also be a place for English. You don't have to separate language learning from your life. You can live in English, little by little, right where you are.
Absolutely. You don't need fancy tools or free hours in your day. You just need to be a bit intentional. Let your kitchen be your learning ground. Let your daily tasks become your daily practice. English doesn't have to be loud to grow, sometimes it just needs to be present.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If this episode gave you new ideas, or reminded you that your daily life is enough for real language progress, we're so glad.
We'll be back soon with more gentle encouragement, honest conversations, and practical tips to help you grow with English, at your own pace, in your own way.
Until then, take care of yourself, and keep speaking, even if it's just to your fridge.
This is Nick.
And Emily.
From the British Accent Podcast. See you next time.